Gotta wait for Jeff to get here. Jeez.
You wait a long time.
Good morning. It's Friday, May 23rd. It's 9:30. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Riddell, Commissioner Moore,
here.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Here.
We have a quorum. Today we have some foster parents with us to proclaim May as Foster Care Month in Lorain County. Kristen Fox Berkey, I'm not sure if she's here, or Patty
she
Jo's
here?
doing it, or
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Nancy Griffiths. I'm one of the FBC managers at Children's Services, and I'm filling in for Kristen this morning.
Okay.
So we'd first like to thank you for allowing us to come up and acknowledge May as Foster Care Month. We are grateful to the many families that have chosen to become licensed foster parents here at Lorain County Children's Services. Our community's foster families are available to help children who cannot stay at home or stay at home with relatives. The process begins with licensing, which takes weeks. There's lots of training involved. There's a thorough background check, a detailed home study, and many more tasks to become a foster parent. These are highly qualified and caring families, and we appreciate the key role these volunteers play in Lorain County's children's safety net. With us today are two foster parents who are examples of how dedicated and kind-hearted our foster families are. Brenda and Daniel Walsh have been licensed foster parents since 2021. They have 5 children stay with them and have provided respite, which is the term we use when foster parents babysit for each other. Brenda's love for all children gives her the confidence to advocate for children in her home, emphasizing the importance of siblings maintaining a relationship with each other. And Daniel's calm and caring demeanor reinforces the safety and stability that children's needs, especially those experiencing separation from their parents. Mirabelle Rivera has been a foster parent since 2015 and has cared for 11 children in her home and babysat many others. Mirabelle's approach to foster care is rooted in understanding love and patience, fostering a nurturing environment where children felt safe, valued, and supported. Mirabelle often reflected that the children in her care helped her as much as she helped them. Even though she's retired from foster parenting in January of this year, she continues to make a difference in the community as a volunteer at Mercy Health Hospital. Currently, the agency is focused on recruiting for additional foster families from our rural areas of Lorain County. 11% of our referrals from the agency come from our rural community, yet we have few foster homes in the rural Lorain County. Finding other Brendas and Daniels and Maribels, especially from our townships, is something that we need help with. So if anyone is watching this meeting or knows someone that would make a terrific foster parent, please tell them that. Encourage them to think about it, to go to childrenservices.org for more information. Most foster families become foster families because someone in their circle of friends and family has encouraged them to do so. And so, if you know anyone who would make a great foster parent, please encourage and support them so that we have all the Brendas, Daniels, and Maribels needed in our community by our community's most vulnerable children. Again, thank you, commissioners, for allowing us to be here this morning and for the proclamation recognizing May as Foster Care Month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We as a board have a proclamation here in which, whereas each month approximately 85 children need to stay in foster care in Lorain County, whereas there are 58 highly trained and dedicated foster families licensed through Lorain County Children's Services that provide care for these children. This is it's a very long proclamation. I won't read it all, but I found that information to be relevant because it sounds as if we do have a shortage of foster care parents that we really need. And my grandparents were in the townships out on a farm, and they did foster care. So we had I had extended cousins through the foster care network, And our next door neighbor actually took in a child that was addicted at birth. And they, now it's a, they actually ended up adopting,
Great.
which happens, I guess, is that something, I think that's kind of common, isn't it?
It does. Our foster families are, some of them are set up to foster only and some are set up to foster to adopt, so there's
Right.
continuity of care there.
Now, I remember you guys come in every year and talk, and is there anything else we need to like promote? Are you still looking for more? Right, you're still looking for more foster.
Absolutely. We are focusing this year in our rural areas. We're focusing with our veterans and also within our education and our school systems, because we know that those are the types of people that work with kids all the time. They have a passion for it. So those are 3 of the areas that we're really focusing on right now.
Okay.
I have a very strong feeling towards fostering. My mom's best friend used to foster kids, and she said, I want to have 12 kids. And my mom said, I want 1 kid. Well, it was just the opposite. She had 1 kid, and she fostered 5 or 6 kids at any given time. And one of my employees was a foster parent, adopted the 2 children, and one of my very good friends. So I really am passionate about fostering. I wish I could do it. My schedule wouldn't allow for it at this point. Maybe someday.
Well, you had 13 brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of 13. So,
If you know anyone or you think of anyone,
Yeah.
please send them our way and encourage them.
Okay.
I will do that.
Thank you.
No, but I appreciate the volunteers here today that showed up to support this program. It's
Yeah, very important, very needed.
it's one of those just doesn't get recognized enough. The daily needs, because it's not easy. It wasn't easy on my grandparents, but they were very strong individuals, and they knew they had a job to do, and it changed a lot of lives.
It can be a really tough thing to do, but it is so rewarding.
It is.
We have amazing foster parents that we work with right now.
Yep.
And so to grow that pool even bigger is what we're striving for.
Okay.
It's very impressive. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for taking this burden on
I'll get you
to
this.
some.
Yeah, want to give them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe the newspapers will take a picture, and we'll get more
Sure.
people to participate. And that's the
For the
whole.
families.
You want the families to
That
come
would,
out?
is that okay? We can.
Yeah, yeah, we can bring
Great.
everybody out. Half the battle's awareness, right?
Yes, yeah. Okay, there's a couple of staff that.
Yeah, the staff can still come on.
They're important too, I guess.
I'd like to thank the staff for what you guys do, because I know it's not an easy job. Thank you all for showing up and supporting us. Next door, we do have food next door, it's another organization, so try to help them out. Yeah, you guys don't have to stay if you don't. They do have breakfast next door, so.
Smoothies, whatever.
I'm gonna take off.
Smoothies, you're gonna take off for the smoothie first? Okay.
One of the 2 of you needs to have one of your phones ring so that we.
Oh, yeah. that's-
Oh,
You know,
we
Channel
have the
Jeff.
ringing phone.
Jeff's not here, so there will be no phone ringing. And I know he's watching, that's why I said that. So. Okay, thank you. Thank you for being patient. But we feel this is very important to at least get public recognition and awareness that we do need more foster care parents, so.
At 10 o'clock, we'll have a final CDBG hearing. So under resolutions, number 1, investments.
Move to approve?
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Number 2, appropriations.
Move to approve?
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Number 3, transfers.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Number 4, advances, repayments.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Number 5, requisitions.
Move to approve.
Well, we have 3 pages today on the requisitions, so this is page 1. Any questions? If not, we'll go to page 2. This is page 2 of requisitions. You'll see legal fees on 2 pages. That's, a lot of this stuff is, when it comes through, Karen reviews them. Our staff goes back and forth. Some of these are from September and November of last year, so. Sometimes we may not agree with some of the legal fees, and that's what she does a good job at beating them up on, so I'd like to thank Karen for that. So, page 3. And at the bottom, you'll see 1091, that's a $415,000 for the city of Oberlin. We do the collections for the stormwater. Basically, I had to call up Don and say, okay, what's this about? And we get a administrative fee for doing that work. So that's what that is for. That's one of the largest ones on the 3 pages. So I'll move to approve pages 1, 2, and 3 of the requisitions.
I will second it.
Any further discussion? Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Number 6, travel.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Number 7, bills.
We have 7 pages today of bills. This is page 1. Page 2, please. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. And page 7. Move to approve pages 1 through 7 of the bills.
I will second it.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Number 8, county commissioners may recess an executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, along with any other matters as specifically identified by motion in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 121.22G1 through 8. Unless expressly stated otherwise, during executive session, matters discussed in executive session are designated by the county commissioners as confidential. Because the confidentiality of such matters is necessary for the proper conduct of government business, any disclosure outside of executive session is prohibited by Ohio Revised Code 102.03B. While in executive session, the county commissioners may discuss and deliberate on the matters at issue, but no votes may be taken until open session resumes.
Do we have a personnel summary sheet? I don't see my, I didn't get one. Oh, no,
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, you want it up on the
well, I
screen?
guess, yeah, let's look at it, I guess, so. Yeah, it's all about Marty. Here you go. Had to do that. Do you guys see any need to be discussing any personnel matters in executive session? We will be going to executive session today, so if you don't see any need, we could vote on it today. So does anybody see a need for personnel? If not, then I'll move to approve the personnel summary sheet.
And I will second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Public comment.
Oh, you have a-
Brian?
Okay.
Good. See, Brian, he knows, he gets right up here quick, so.
It's already on his way.
Well, no, he
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Baker, 49822 Greystone Drive, Amherst, Ohio. I just come up here to just flag maybe on number 17. It's Gerber Ditch, and I know there was a confrontation here a couple weeks, or maybe about 6 weeks ago. The job was getting ready to start, and I know Mr. Brookie brought up about change orders. We're at the beginning of the job, and we already have a company asking us about $2,500 in a change order because of weather. If you work construction, everybody knows weather, you know when you bid it. I'm just puzzled that you're already asking for $2,500 at the beginning of this when you're mobilizing. If you look around, they're clearing all over the county. I mean, Dave, you live in Amherst, there's many projects they're clearing, and they have the equipment to get out there and clear to come back and try to recoup some money here. So I know it's $2,500 here, but I think this will probably be a pattern of this job to make up the difference in the bid. So I just say, please pay attention to this and just look into it. But we're at the beginning of the job, not the end of the job. I could see at the end of the job when you record every day that was rain, and then you come back and say, I couldn't work all these days, I lost all this time, not at the beginning of the job when you're mobilizing though. So thank you for your time.
No, thanks for pointing that
Yeah,
out, Brian.
thank you.
Is there any old business?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Unless you got any.
Under board business number 9, approve and waive the reading of the county commissioners meeting minutes of May 6th, 9th, and 13th.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Number 10, enter an agreement with Stefanik Izu and Associates LLC for workers' compensation legal services to handle all inexperienced claims requiring legal representation and litigation of workers' compensation claims that are filed in the Court of Common Pleas. This agreement is effective retroactive to April 1st, 25, and payment of $225 per hour for attorney services and $100 for paralegal services, which will be paid from the professional services account.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Number 11, approve and enter an agreement with Maximus US Services, Inc. in the amount of $18,250 to develop a central services cost allocation plan for the county. This is effective until March 31st, 2027, and will be paid from the Common Cost Contract Services account.
Move to approve?
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Number 12, receive and journalize the proposed expedited 2 annexation of approximately 9.7093 acres, of which 0.467 acres is within the right-of-way of the Chestnut Ridge Road, and 6.2184 acres is within original Carlisle Township Section 5. 3.4909 acres is within original Eden Township lots 91 and 92 to the city of Elyria. Attorney John D. Clark is agent for petitioner Chestnut Ridge Baptist Church. June 17th to 25, the 39th day, a decision could be rendered if all conditions have been met.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
13, this is going to be a change in a little wording here. Approve change order number 1 to Williams Brothers Building, Inc., Elyria, in the amount of $17,659 for additional work on the 4th floor interior alterations project. This will be paid from the capital improvements account.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Community Development, 14, authorize County of Lorain to submit a revolving loan fund application to the Ohio Department of Development for On-Site Holding Company LLC in the amount of $250,000 for equipment purchase associated with property at 99 Freedom Court, Elyria. On-Site Holdings Company LLC has committed to creating 7 new jobs, all of which will be taken or made available to persons from low and moderate income households.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion.
Anybody have any comment regarding, because this was discussed in a meeting which nobody saw.
Thank you, Commissioners. Yeah, we're excited about this opportunity for this loan. On-Site Stud Welding, Inc. Was originally formed in Elyria, Ohio in 1982. It's a situation where the owner passed away. The children did not want to continue the business. This loan gives us an opportunity to have a company come in and purchase and keep this company in Elyria and at the same time add a number of jobs. To do so, it's a little unique because typically we don't do loans within the cities of Elyria or Lorain because of the way things are set up with the feds. However, we could make the exception on this because they've agreed to offer 100% of these jobs, 51% of these jobs at least to LMI employees, as well as 51% of these jobs will be offered to people outside of the city of Elyria. which makes us able to do this loan. But we're excited. It's actually a short-term loan. It's only for 5 years, but it gives them an opportunity to purchase this company and for us to keep this company in Elyria rather than have it leave or shut down.
Yep. And my understanding from our meeting that we had, and, we have 2 bankers on the board.
Right.
The loan to values are there, the cash, it's a solid company, and it's just, it was a very solid deal, and it was, how do you want to say, analyzed as a pretty much zero risk
Correct.
loan.
Yeah,
So,
they checked all the boxes.
yeah, they did, and so it was.
Which typically doesn't happen because
know.
these are usually high-risk loans.
Yeah, but this one here was, there was some exceptions, and it was a very solid. When you got 2 bankers that like it, you're doing good with that. So
And plus, it was the machinery purchase
Yeah.
as
Correct.
well, so there's
Yeah.
chattel behind it.
yeah, and liens, so it was pretty low risk. So, thank you, Rob.
You're welcome.
Anything further? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Under sanitary engineer, 15, approve and enter in consulting service agreement with K.E. McCartney and Associates in the amount not to exceed $125,000 for year 2 of a 2-year contract, and this will be paid from the sanitary department professional services account.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Or, I'm sorry, Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Under Stormwater, amend Resolution 25-292 adopted April 25th of 25, a proposed Lorain County Stormwater Management Drainage District improvement to be constructed within the Drainage District for Law Road Community Grant Project. This amendment is to reflect that the Drainage District for Law Road is in Grafton Township, not LaGrange Township.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Approve a change order to Hammer Down Industries, Perry, Ohio, in the amount not to exceed $2,500 for the Eaton Township Gerber Property Clearing RFP Selective Tree Clearing. This change order is due to the weather and mobilization and will be paid from the contractual services account.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, are you guys going to keep an eye on this one for me? Or for us?
Yes, Commissioner, and actually, we are at the end of Hammer Down's contract. They've completed the work except for payment. And what really brought this on was we had a wet middle of March, if I recall, and we were coordinating their contract and the contract with Mark's Construction. The two of them were working together. It got too wet and soft. They had to get their equipment out, not to destroy the conditions for the next contractor coming in, which was the $3.4 million contract. So rather than risk that large one, I had okayed saying, get your stuff out of the way, come back, and get me the cost so that we could take care of it. And so the additional $2,500, not happy about it, but it is better to, in my opinion, it was much better to do that than risk making a mess before the large contract even started. And that farm field was incredibly soft, which is part of the reason we're making it a wetland. So,
Okay.
Isn't this also the project with the tree clearing where we had a deadline of
March 31st,
March
that's
31st?
one of 2 we had going on, correct.
And that could be impacted as well, and which would halt all.
Yeah, they actually changed their means and ended up dropping a lot of it by hand because of the wet conditions, and then came back with machinery to pull it out.
Okay.
Great. Thanks.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Children's Services, authorize and rescind various personnel in the Children's Services Department to utilize the agency's MasterCard for the year 2025, not to exceed $2,500 in accordance with the ORC and their permissible policy.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Developmental Disabilities, approve and enter a lease agreement with ViaQuest, Inc., Dublin, Ohio, for 11,130 square feet, which includes office and area C, D, G, and H, and adjoining restrooms and hallways to be shared with Lorain County Developmental Disabilities, effective July 1st of 25 through June 30th of 26. ViaQuest, Inc. will pay $4,869.38 per month for the lease space and includes a 90-day cancellation clause.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Under Domestic Relations, approving a maintenance agreement with Ohio Legal Help on behalf of Lorain County Domestic Relations Court for the virtual self-help center platform. A federal grant was awarded from the Office of Criminal Justice Services to create and maintain a virtual self-help center platform and access 2, Justice Services for represented individuals. The cost of the year 1 is $30,000, year 2 is $33,000, year 3 is $36,000. This is effective retroactive to June, well, it shouldn't be retroactive, but this is effective to June, this is effective June 1st, 25 for 3 years and will be paid from the computer system software account. Ooh.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Under the engineer, accept on behalf of Columbia Township trustees the improvements of Ashford Cove subdivision off Redfern Road. Engineer accepted public improvements completed by BDC Buildings and Development LLC subdivider. Dedication of the streets below for the plat of the subdivision is recorded in volume 117, page 38 of the Lorain County Records of Plat as follows. Ashford Court, Township Road T14, 410, 0.22 mile in length, Redfern Road to southeast cul-de-sac, Viewpoint Court, Township Road T411, 0.051 mile length, Ashford Court to southeast cul-de-sac.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, Bob, do you want to cover all 3 of these? Do you have anything to add? Because we're voting on the next 3. I mean, unless you're fine.
No, these are just the standard procedure. We would, at the end of the subdivision, we accept the streets as public highways for the townships.
Okay.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Accept on behalf of Columbia Township trustees the improvements of Everwood subdivision number 11 off Challenge Way. Engineer accepted the public improvements completed by EWGC Development Corp. LLC subdivider. Dedication of the streets below for the plat of this is recorded in volume 117, page 44, Lorain County Records of Plat as follows. Challenge Way Township Road T358, 0.116 mile in length, present termini to present termini. David's Court, Township Road T409, 0.106 mile in length, Challenge Way to the east cul-de-sac.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Accept on behalf of Eden Township trustees the improvements at Eden Crossing Subdivision Number 4 off Mara Boulevard completed by FLG Eden Crossing LLC developer. Dedication of the streets below for the plat of this is recorded in volume 117, page 34, Lorain County Records of Plat as follows. Porter Way Township Road T399, 0.179 mile in length, Mara Boulevard to the north termini. Carroll Court Township Road T401, 0.050 mile in length, Mauer Boulevard to the north termini.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Under the sheriff, enter in a sub-grant award agreement with Ohio Department of Public Safety, Ohio 2024 Edward Bryan Grant, 2024 JGA01 in the amount of $54,969.20 for the Lorain County Drug Task Force. This will be applied towards the salaries from the account criminal justice salaries.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, I see we have our sheriff here today. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items today. Would you like to discuss them one at a time or discuss them all at once? Or you got a microphone there. We might as well do them. How about one at a time? How's that?
Mr. Moore and Mr. Gallagher, I have specific issues to address in items number 24, 25, and 28.
Okay. Well, you're okay with 23 to move
I am,
forward?
yes.
Okay.
Commissioner Moore. Oh,
Aye.
is there anything else?
Anything else?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Enter an agreement with Kimball Painting Avon in the amount of $5,300 to paint offices at Lorain County Sheriff's Office. This will be paid from the building and maintenance account.
So moved.
Second. Discussion.
Mr. Moore and Mr. Gallagher, again, this will be another one of these resolutions that we are actually coming before the board and requesting you to deny this request for an expenditure of $5,300 to be paid for out of the building and maintenance account. We feel that this was not budgeted for the 2025 budget originally, as was established in November of 2024. This is for the painting of the interior of the building, especially the office section of the building, and instead of applying those funds toward the building and maintenance account, which normally would be done under the color of law, we are asking that you deny this, so we pay for these painting funds out of the restricted funds of the Lorain County Sheriff's Office. which include forfeiture funds, other monies that were provided to us by the court through criminal action in those cases. And so therefore, instead of putting the burden of that $5,300 on the taxpayer, we're asking to put that burden onto the restricted fund.
It's admirable that you're watching out for the money.
Right. In addition to that, I have to say that the court has been very generous, and also want to give my thanks to Major Gordon, who is our jail administrator. Not a single corrections officer that has worked in the jail for over the last 25 years can remember when anything was painted inside the jail. So the paint has been purchased. We have used trustees inside the jail to provide all the labor for painting the booking areas. We're starting there in other areas of the jail which are in dire need of paint. And also want to go on the record of thanking Judge Bremke from the Common Pleas Court General Division, for she is also providing community service volunteers. I don't know if the word volunteer is the correct word, but through her court, that are also being utilized to assist with painting and maintenance work to spruce up the sheriff's office as well too. So therefore, there are no labor funds which are being used against the general fund of the county to pay for those as well. So we've been utilizing alternative resources. So that's why we ask that you deny item number 24, because we would like those funds to be utilized out of the restricted funds to pay for that painting.
Hope the public sees that we do have a nice working sheriff that understands budgets, and I do really, really appreciate the work you're doing. I really do.
Oh, thank you.
I do still want to visit the facilities in the professional manner. But
As a guest, or?
no, yeah, that is a permanent one.
Okay.
Yes, be our
No, but
guest.
I still want to go see it, because it's very important for us to understand what you're dealing with
So,
there.
once you walk through it, you're gonna realize we need a new one.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
gonna say
Ann is going to reach out to you guys, because we had a very, very busy schedule the last week and a half, so it's coming up quick. So I hope you can make room for
As
me.
we have, so I appreciate that. We'll
Thanks.
get that set
I
up
know.
for you.
Yeah. Go ahead,
I'm,
Ann.
I'm just going to make a really quick comment. Sheriff, obviously, you know, we're grateful that the money gets spent the way that it's supposed to as well. At the risk of not giving too much legal advice from this seat in, you know, in public, I just want it to be understood that there's still the concern about the possibility of the board passing a resolution possibly representing or referencing a different subfund number in the future. Not necessarily because this one is wrong, but there are legitimate questions about exactly what a sheriff's authority is to enter into a contract, and whether or not the contract needs to be signed by the signing authority, namely the commissioners, rather than the sheriff. And we don't have to go into a whole bunch of discussion about that right now. I just want to make sure that that's understood.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Commissioner Moore,
I guess you
No.
can vote no.
Commissioner Gallagher,
No.
apply for the 2025-2026 opiate remediation grant through the Ohio Attorney General and entering an MOU for the award amount of $200,000. This funding will be used for 2 drug counselors and 2 hydration stations as a reimbursable grant into account jail receipt of state grants.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
Well, I think I don't think you need to repeat yourself again, or would you like to talk about this issue?
No, in regards to item number 25, I want to let the commissioners know that we have successfully been awarded that grant. That notification was made this week, and so therefore the appropriate numbers for the transfer of those funds from the Attorney General's office of the state of Ohio have been given to the grant administrators in Columbus, and so therefore we expect to see that money deposited into our account, possibly even by today or tomorrow.
Okay, so you don't need it coming.
Hopefully you accept item number 25.
Oh, you're saying, okay, I thought
Yes.
I thought this was where you're already getting the grant?
We've already been advised we're getting the grant,
Okay,
yes, so we
so you
do need
need-
you to vote yes on
Okay.
this.
No,
In
no,
order
bec-
for us to accept the $200,000.
Well, yeah, because I thought, wow, you're really getting some money from somewhere, too. Which you are, you know.
Right.
Well, I was misinformed on that one, wasn't I? So this one,
I crossed it out at the beginning,
yeah,
too.
so did I. I was told that you were gonna do the same thing on this one, so you don't need,
No,
Glad
we-
there was a discussion.
yeah.
Commissioner Gallagher,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore.
Yes.
Enter in a sub-grant award agreement with the Ohio Department of Public Safety for Ohio Drug Law Enforcement Fund Grant 2024 DLLEF 81227, the amount of $153,633.70 for Drug Task Force. $153,119.10 will be applied towards the salaries and $514.60 for supplies. There is a cash match required of $38,279.78 towards the salaries from account MEG TTF salaries and $128.66 for supplies from the account MEG DTF supplies.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
Would you like to discuss this? No,
Only for the fact we would like you to accept it, so.
Well, okay, I didn't know if there's anything that you want to talk about in regards to the work going on, so. But if you're fine, then.
Unfortunately, a lot of it's ongoing, and I can't discuss it right now.
There you go.
but,
Okay.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Enter into sub-grant award agreement with the Ohio Department of Public Safety for Recovery Ohio Law Enforcement Fund 2025 RO EFT 55275 in the amount of $89,985.74 for the Drug Task Force. This will be applied towards the salaries and paid from account criminal justice salaries.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Commissioners, these are the grant fundings that we receive in order to have an investigator who is specifically signed looking at overdose situations that happen in the county, and then in addition to that, make sure that all the appropriate information is documented and recorded for purposes of assisting families in Lorain County with these types of situations. So that is the money that actually pays toward the salary of the investigator who handles that.
Anything further? Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Approve and enter in a 3-year contract with Keefe Commissionary Network LLC, St. Louis, Missouri, for a provision of commissary services at the Lorain County Jail. This is effective retroactive to May 1st of 25 and will expire May 1st of 2028 with automatic renewals and contains a 90-day cancellation clause.
So moved.
I will second that.
Discussion.
Yes, in regards to the contract, Sheriff, this is 25 to 28 with automatic renewals. So is that an automatic renewal for another 36 months, or is that just an annual?
The way it reads is annual, but the actual discussion that I would like to have with the commissioners on this issue is that there was something brought to my attention by our Corrections Inspector General on Tuesday regarding the company and some of its employees for the safety and security of our facility. We're asking that this contract request be suspended for at least until the next commissioners meeting, so we can sit down with the company and also with council on this to make sure that we have appropriate safeguards within the contract in regards to our access of Keefe's employees in regards to how they enter and operate within the facility for the safety of the Lorain County Jail.
Would it be better just to vote no and bring it back up, or would you rather have me make an amendment to suspend? That's easier for you,
You
Teresa.
can just withdraw and we'll put it on next, or the
So
following
we have a
week.
motion and a second.
Yeah, so you can withdraw it if you like. Or
It's possible there might be changes to the resolution, I
Right.
suppose. One never knows, and therefore it might be best to just vote down the resolution and just have it re-brought up with a new resolution.
Yeah, we'll just vote it
language.
down. How's that? And
That's
then
fine.
bring it back in and, okay.
I'm shocked that people actually want our involvement. Most of the time, they just tell me to stay out.
Oh, wow.
But we don't want anything.
We'll wait till executive session.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye. No.
Commissioner Moore?
No.
Okay.
Okay, Sheriff, I'd like to say thank you for coming in. But I would like the public to realize that the county commissioners are the budget authority. We do not meet in November to vote on a budget. We don't pass it in August, which is what we do. What we do is we work weekly, monthly. Our staff works weekly and monthly, and they've had one heck of a relationship with the sheriff's department. He's had a lot of hard work he's had in front of him. He's done a lot of things that he is finding, and that's all I'm going to tell you for now. But what we're looking for is inviting the sheriff back on June 3rd. Because on June 3rd, we'd like to have a discussion in regards to what his needs are, what he has found, what he's the shortfalls. And as a budget authority, we've changed 2 years ago how to do the budget. We implemented it last year, and we're starting to see now line item per line item when somebody says they want a budget, and you'll see this in the beginning of our meetings when we're transferring money from salaries to other expenses, you'll see us as a commission, a lot of people really don't understand the aspects of the budget process or the operations of our county government. What I've been extremely excited about is the working relationship that this board has with the sheriff's office. That saved me $1. So
I think you already
cost me
owe him,
$1.
too.
No, okay. Well, no. Only if he's in front of me, I owe him money. If I say it behind the scenes, I don't owe him money. Okay. So
I still have a $3 credit.
yeah, I know. He prepaid some of his mistakes. But I do want to thank you publicly with you and your staff and the work you're doing. And there's going to be a lot of discussions in the month of June regarding how we move forward with this county general fund, when out of the 86 million that we're already looking at 2026 right now. And we're looking forward to working with the sheriff's office in the month of June to see what we can do together to make it a little bit more public. You've been extremely transparent. I appreciate that. This board has been transparent, and we're showing the public, how we're going to move forward. And I'm really excited, if it's okay for you to come in on June 3rd, and we'll maybe see where you're at, what we're looking for. And we're probably going to get an update, hopefully, on the jail and where we're at. But the main thing is going to be the operations and how we move forward as a county operationally, moving forward. Because I can tell you right now, ARPA days are gone and we're short. So I feel, when you're uncomfortable with other elected officials and their budgets, that's why we've itemized. But right now, I feel real comfortable working with this sheriff and the work he's been doing and his staff.
He's an excellent communicator,
Yep,
no
yep,
question.
yep.
Thank
So
you.
is
If
that
you don't-
okay, June 3rd?
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't mind, I'll bring Chief Zach with me as well, too, since she's the one that actually runs the budget.
Mm-hmm. And very impressed with that hire. She's very good.
Good hire.
Mm-hmm. Nothing against you. Well, thank you for coming in. You know what? I know you're a busy man, so, you've been busy the last couple of weeks. I noticed by just reading the paper,
Yes.
so you don't have to stick around for the rest of the boring stuff.
Thank you very much. I
just-
appreciate it.
Thanks.
But no, we do appreciate you coming in, explaining it, what your needs are, and thank you for working with us.
All
So.
right, thank you.
Do we want to go to the public hearing now or go through this or?
Now let's finish up with,
Okay. We're county administrators.
I just want to add to the comments that the commissioners just talked about with Sheriff Hall's staff, especially Gordon and Chief Deputy Tanya Zach. We've had more conversations in the last 5 months than actually probably 10 more conversations than the one I had with the Sheriff's Department in the last 2 years.
That's $1.
You got $1 back.
Oh, I said,
Jack's
the
hanging
last-
around for it.
Hold on.
He's actually waiting back there to collect.
Last 2 years, how's that? Can I get my $1 back? No, all right, I'll put it down. Where did he left
He's waiting for it. Oh,
already?
he's
Oh,
waiting.
my God.
He's waiting for
That
it.
means I got $2 in there.
Uh-oh.
No, it's the silo walls have come down, and we really have a great relationship. And actually, Chief Deputy is helping us out down in the forensic lab, working with them downstairs with Jillian and the group, with hopefully some new equipment and some financing to run that equipment. And it's just been outstanding that Karen and I have had in our relationship with the sheriff's office. To go on to the next subject, the towers, communication towers continue to go up. I know the footers are in French Creek, wastewater treatment plant, as well in Northern Ohio Water. And the First Energy and the cable companies that are putting the fiber into the units are working hard to get those towers up, or not up, but get the power back there. But the steel should be going up at Northern Ohio Water at Brown Hill Township in the next couple of weeks. The rain hasn't helped us much, but we look forward. The project's still on to be completed, and it's working as it was set forward. That completes my report this evening, or this afternoon, or actually, what time is it? This morning.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Just wanted to give you a brief update with regards to the airport. As you all know, we've been working with CMT as a consultant on updating the master plan for the airport. We're moving along. It's a slow process. We did submit the forecast to the airport district office in Detroit for review, received some comments back that we're responding to. We also are scheduling stakeholder meetings at the end of June out at the airport, and we anticipate that the master plan update should be done by the end of the year. Also, we are continuing to respond to some questions from the district office regarding our non-aviation land release. So the process, I think we're really close. The last answer we got back from the ADO was basically clean up your your property descriptions, and I think we had to resubmit a modified KTEX form. So as soon as we get those new things prepared and ready to go, which we should have them, I would say by maybe second week of June, we can send it back. But they're already talking about releasing it for the Federal Register. So we're real close to getting the process approved. I've also been working quite a bit recently with VIA, Lorain County Transit, trying to get all of our ducks in a row because our VIA contract does end in July. So I want to make sure that we're doing our due diligence and getting a good scope of work together before we come back to the board for approval on that VIA contract. And that concludes my report.
Thank you.
You know, government time just still makes me insane. We'll talk now in their report. Okay, we were out in Vegas at this show, and I am meeting with some people in regards to the airport. We had a lot of discussions in regards to the extension of the airport, the master plan of the airport. That's why you see me twinging up here when you say soon, because government soon could be a year. I don't know. And, you know, I know you guys are saying the end of the year. It's like the 6119. I kept hearing 2 months, 3 months, and that was 8 months ago, you know? And so it's kind of, when I'm out and about talking, and now I'm getting, you know, I said, hey, we should hear something by July on the 6119. But now I'm starting to talk government talk, you know, and I don't like that. The key here is I'm meeting with a serious developer who is very interested in that non-aviation land that might be able to assist us in the extension of the runway, which means we'll be able to get that extra revenue, which was a big sales point while we're talking to all these national, international companies that were coming up to us at the show. So that's why.
I don't see this land going.
But I know if he starts mumbling, you know, I can't hear him, so. So anyway, the key here is there's a lot of things that are happening in regards to the VIA program. I'm not happy with some of the things, and people may call and say why, but that's still in the middle of some discussions with two of the municipalities. If you don't mind reaching out, I'd like you to reach out to some of the other smaller municipalities to see if they'd like to participate. And I saw that Life Care did that, and it was very successful. When Life Care went out to the communities, in order for them to participate, they had to do something to keep that program in existence in some of the communities. I feel VIA should be doing the same thing, or your office should be doing the same thing, going out to a few of the local communities, or I'm saying it right now, if you want to participate, right now's the time to reach out to Karen Perkins the next 2 weeks, right? When you say we have to get, in order to have this program continue for another 12 months, we're going to need some assistance in funding. And whatever that assistance can be, we can calculate it out. And I know you're meeting with other entities, hospitals, schools, that's all I'm going to say for now. And I know you're working hard on it. But I think if there's some local communities that are in need, and if they look at what happened in Lorain and Elyria and the successes they had, I believe it's that important. I don't think the public realize how important the next couple of weeks are for you, because we have a contract due. And I've seen it. If we don't have any activity and we're not being committed, VIA will just pull out.
Right.
Yeah, this program is very important.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
But
Very
we gotta
important.
we talked for a year about partnerships. You know, county can't fund it all. So
Yeah.
that's my shot across the bow to those that are listening. That's Sorry.
You
You want to talk about Vegas a little bit, or no? You wanna
Sure.
talk- We're gonna eat up your part of the discussion under county administrator update. So go ahead, Marty.
Well, we attended a show in Las Vegas last weekend. That's why we didn't have a meeting earlier this week. We didn't have a quorum. This was more of a fact-finding meeting or convention. We exhibited at it. Our booth had steady flow through it. Big takeaways. We have one organization wants to do some huge project in our community here. We're going to be meeting up with them. But finding out that there's a lot of projects going on within the communities out here or potential wishes to do it or attempts to do it came to our booth. We probably have about 30 to 40 really solid leads coming back to bring back to our administrative offices. We're organizing that right now. It was an impressive show. We had people coming up to us saying that, you know what, we're glad you're here. This is what we do. We had a lot of salespeople trying to hit us up to do business with them. We took their information. We'll give it to the appropriate parties. It was a home run, more than I anticipated, and I hope we can do this again next year. It was grueling, though, taking the red eye home and working it. But there was a lot of traffic in Las Vegas. A big concert there, and it made it very, very expensive, very costly for a trade show. But
Yeah, but the way the commissioner's office worked it out, since it was promoting Lorain County, your bed tax paid for it, a majority of it. The bed tax that we received 3.25% on, and so the Visitors Bureau paid for the most of the expenses except for some of the travel, and so it was I would say it was a very successful show. What was amazing is that how many Ohio companies came to our booth. That was what was amazing. They're like going, they saw the lakefront because we invited other communities, and the city of Lorain, Port Authority, and one of their members, and the tickets are not cheap. They're $1,000. And I'll give Mayor Bradley credit. He asked if we had an extra free one. So I said, no. I said they were expensive. But they showed up, and they benefited the most because we when they would leave and work the room, which we thought with three of us there, we would be going out and working the room. We never had a chance to do that. That's how busy the booth was for 2 days. People were coming, and they wanted to know what's going on in our county. And we had properties already typed up with the acreages and where to invest in our community. And what they kept looking at was the lakefront, the water, and our land, and the development that we're working on with the 6119 along Baumhart Road. And that's what a lot of them are looking at. But these are Ohio companies that didn't know what we had to offer. And that's kind of what I've always said. That's marketing 101, which is if they don't know you exist, how are they going to buy the product? And so by going out there, what I found amazing was how many Ohio companies from Cincinnati, what have you, they saw an Ohio company there. And because of Marty's work over the last 40 years in that business, we were treated to a very cherry spot because one opened up and they hooked us up. And so we were not on the main drag, we're just off the main drag, but everybody saw us the way it was set up. We had a video that was on a rotating play for 3.5 minutes long. And what we're going to do is I don't want to play it. We'll probably play it here at our meeting, the next meeting. But this weekend is an event, the Chip Gala, and we're gonna kick it off, grand premiere for that video promoting Lorain County, and that's gonna be we're gonna promote that on tomorrow night at that event. So or we would have played it today. So I was hesitant. I didn't know what to expect, and I was shocked at the positive responses we were getting. And if you think I talk a lot or Marty talks a lot, Dave Blevins is just as bad. So between the three of us, we were constantly talking to developers. Sometimes you have somebody who wants to hustle us and try to sell us some things. But we handle that pretty well because we're used to getting people hitting us up to buy stuff. So other than that, I thought it was a very strong showing. And I didn't know, Marty knows more about this. Somebody came around with a trophy, and I kind of did.
Yeah,
that.
he posed for it.
Well, I was hamming it up. I didn't think it was a serious
I was working.
thing. Yeah, and I was doing, and next thing he knows, he goes, "You don't know how serious this is. We may win as a booth." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, if that happens, that'll be more promotions." And so it was.
That was impressive. I was going to mention that
Yeah,
when you were
okay.
done there about the Visitors Bureau and Gary Gibbs. Our booth was very attractive. It was, for the amount of money that was spent on it, it was very reasonable. And we had so much positive visibility, people saying, wow, what a nice booth, and all the pictures. But what was most important, more importantly involved in that, when he developed that display, we will be able to use that for other events throughout the county. We will be using that actually tomorrow for the CHIPS event. And we will also be using it at the county fair. So we can recoup the cost of buying a display for a trade show. And it's easy to also change the pictures and the photographs in the back. So kudos to Gary and his team.
Yeah, it was, and these booths, we budgeted $35,000 up to $35,000 for all the expenses and everything on the Visitors Bureau, because I'm the president of that board, and the board voted unanimously in support of that. But you saw booths where these people, and he'll attest to it, they'll spend $1 million on a 2-day show. I'm like, and you walk around and you're like, holy cow. Everybody who's anybody is at this show. And it started out to be just a retail show. Now it's not. It's everything from developers and
Banking,
it's
food service, it's everything.
We had investment bankers coming up to us trying, and we would set them up with our Port Authority. We had one guy the guy was a professional basketball player from Florida selling ice rinks. Okay, I know. But you know what? He had a concept, and we started talking, and the way our booth was designed, we had the Crushers Stadium. And so next thing you know, we're talking about, what about this? Like you had Cleveland Indian Stadium. I do that on purpose when I say that. And then you have Columbus OSU. They have their outdoor ice, they'll bring in the Red Wings or what have you. So why can't we do the same thing here in Lorain County? And so they're reaching out to us and made to provide other activities that we can use with Crushers, so they're not just a baseball stadium. So those are the type of conversations we had, as much as putting in a temporary ice rink, all the way to investment bankers and consultants and other developers that really are looking forward to coming back, and they are reaching out to us. So we do have a list of names, and it's going to be some exciting times here, and that's just from one show. So we expect to go back next year, and if any communities out there, Lorain benefited immensely by being
Yes.
there, and if any other communities would like to participate, we're thinking about taking our 10 by 20 booth to a 20 by 20. That's how successful we felt this show was, and maybe have other communities, because they're trying. When some of these people would hustle us for, hey, would you like a Chick-fil-A in your community? And I said, no, we are macro. We're the county. But Lorain sat there and they said, well, look, we're looking for a grocery store in South Lorain. Next thing you know, they're talking to people that are looking at South Lorain. Those are the conversations you have at these type of shows. So when I say macro, we're the county. We're promoting everyone in the county through sewers, through development. But when a community can piggyback the money we're spending, show up for 1 or 2 days, or walk around and try to find what's missing in their community. What are they looking for? Are they looking for senior housing? I mean, I'm telling you, everything is at this show. So if there's something you need in your community, this is a show you would go to, and piggyback off the commissioners and the Visitors Bureau, so that you can at least get your foot in the door and help develop your own community for your own community needs. So that's what I got out of the show.
Yeah, I was totally surprised, though,
Yeah.
with all the people we saw. They brought us development projects that I haven't even heard of, and I'm on the planning commission. So I can tell you, economic development will have a very important part in this next year. And so will the cities around here, the communities. There was they're from data centers and finding out where we had gas lines and
Yep, that
electric
was huge, yeah.
and brownfield cleanup stuff. It was impressive. And I won't elaborate too much on it, but it was well worth it in my opinion. And hopefully we'll do it again. I might go one more time.
Yeah, I'll do one.
I'm not a fan of going out
I'm
there.
just not. I can't handle the time change.
And the red eye coming
Yeah.
home.
But we were promoting even the steel plant,
Yeah.
and people are interested they are interested in the activities and the work we've already done with racing down on the river, all the development we're promoting, and the video did promote, and Gary Gibbs did an excellent job,
Yeah.
and that was the concept. We're promoting our county, as a great place to live, great place to have fun, and a quality of life, because corporations are looking to keep employees, which is the hardest thing. And we were selling, and I mentioned your name, Mike, we were selling LCC. Mike's been very instrumental, and I started using his stuff and saying, look, we're not only working on the high schools on this new economy, we're working at getting even younger, junior high, 6th grade, to start getting our kids in our county. It's kind of like the old days of SHOP. Okay, well, Mike's been working over 2 years now on this concept to bring them into our school systems so that these kids can find that path. Now, the LCCC already has what we need. 2 high schools are already implementing this, and that, by me talking just what I just said, kept people at our booth to say, oh, we're redeveloping our workforce, and we're training for this new economy that is here today. And so I feel that it was a home run, and I think it was well worth it. And I'd like to thank you, Marty, for he went on his own last year, and just to check it out. And
Put it this way, I was nervous that it was going to be a failure. I have to admit, putting my neck out there. 'Cause
I would
it's been
say
a lot of money.
I'd say it was a grand slam, so it was awesome. So
I was nervous.
sorry, we wanted to eat up some of your county administrative. Anything else you want to add?
No, other than LC had a lot of action there, meaning that when we were talking about it, that they were very impressed that there's the feeder programs where they're in the high school, 2 clean rooms. Plus, the governor gave us information when we were down there a little bit ago about if you live in Ohio, or if you are in the top 5% of your education level, the state of Ohio will give you $5,000 a year if you go to college within Ohio to retain people living in Ohio and staying in Ohio. So that it all fed in a big circle between that, where like LC is very important in this process of training our students.
Yep. So.
He said more than that.
Oh, we're talking about one-on-one when we were with him.
Yeah.
He said more than that.
Yeah.
They've introduced a law, and if you're in the top 5%, it's automatic admission to any college.
In any state college in Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot going on in Ohio, and it's a great place to be right now.
Yeah.
And everybody knows what's going on with the tariffs and everything else. So you know what? Somehow we were at the right place at the right time, and we have everything. Our foundation's built. Now we got to build it up. So easy peasy.
Thanks for your time on
Yeah.
that.
Thank you for listening to us. So. Okay, sorry, clerk's report. I guess it's your turn.
That's okay. I think Commissioner Gallagher is going to present the proclamation next Friday
Yep.
to Paulette Miller, correct?
Yep.
Okay, she'll have 43 years at JFS. Board correspondence?
Move to waive the reading of the board correspondence.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Are we not gonna mention though Paulette Miller or no? I mean,
I just did.
Oh.
I just said he was going to present
so he's presenting it
proclamation. She actually retires next Friday at JFS with
so
43 years.
So he's going to the JF. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you. 43 years is a long time. So.
Yeah.
Is that right now?
Yeah, under new business?
Oh. I got new business.
Well,
you got new business?
Yes.
Okay, we all got new business.
Just want to make reference to Monday being Memorial Day and to honor our military and our fallen, especially. Hence that's where I'm wearing my tie today, my red, white, and blue tie, to promote that. But I wish everybody in the county to have a great holiday weekend and just remember those who served.
Okay, I would like to recognize every community has parades on Memorial Day. And I'll be going to LaGrange, and they'll be doing the rededication of the Sherman Monument following the parade. And the community was settled 200 years ago, 1825, or I should say LaGrange Township was. And they're also celebrating the village, 150 years in LaGrange. The city of Amherst has a memorial there. And I was sent this email, and I thought before we go into executive session, I'd like to play this video in honor of our those that have fallen, and that's what Memorial Day is really all about. So if you can bear with me, Victor, if you don't mind playing.
Hello, Amherst, Ohio. I'm Lee Greenwood. And I'm so happy to speak to you on Veterans Day this year to celebrate the dedication of the latest memorial project by the Amherst Veterans Mural Association. So the idea of an additional memorial to enhance the already existing Veterans Mural Wall was conceived in 2020. And then as now, the members of the Amherst Veterans Mural Association knew that it is always important to continue to remember the brave sacrifices of our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and their noble families. Believe me, that's true. With the generous support of this wonderful, caring, and patriotic community, it became a reality this year in 2021. Patriots Park will be an outdoor art gallery designed to display paintings with patriotic themes with a nod to everyone who is proud to be an American. To Amherst and the local community at large, with your dedication to preserving history and promoting patriotism and the arts, you have surely created an unforgettable destination point in Amherst, Ohio. And good luck to the Amherst girls volleyball team this afternoon in their regional championship playoff game. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. I'd thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA. There's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. To be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
at that crowd. I'd like to thank Dan Gross and Victor for doing that for me. I got an email from John Secretary who did this, and the video, I guess, the original video had everything going on, the artwork and everything else. So, but I felt it was kind of nice when John actually called up and reached out to Lee, and Lee Greenwood, and he was in Sandusky. And he actually came downtown Amherst, walked around, and said, "I want to be a part of this." So that's kind of cool. I thought it would be appropriate to at least play that and recognize the fact that, little old Amherst, Ohio, Lorain County, we have that kind of activities going on, and was just proud to be a part of it. So, okay, now we do have one other. We're going to go into executive session now. We're
We have a public hearing.
oh
We have to do our public hearing.
oh that's right. Well, we also have so we got some other work we're going to be doing after executive session, which we haven't told her yet. So okay, so I guess I better let you do your thing, Teresa.
Well, I have no public, you don't have any public comment forms, correct?
No,
I mean, not for public hearing, but anything else.
No, nobody.
Correct? Okay.
We received no other public discussion forums for today.
So we will
Or- 'cause
go.
I see people's heads turning, so I didn't know.
Yeah, no. So we'll go into our final CDBG hearing, and I believe Don Romanchik is going to do this for us.
So do we have to have people raise their right hand? and do it?
No.
Not for this one?
You'll just have to ask them if they have public comment after he talks, and then adjourn it.
Okay. Morning, Don.
Good morning, Board, and thank you for the opportunity to present to you Lorain County's Community Development Block Grant Formula Allocation and Community Grant proposed application for you to comment on, as well as the people here today. Most of this you've heard before. It's going to be a repeat, so I'll try and move it along. We're anticipating to receive $648,000 from the state of Ohio through the federal Community Development Block Grant Formula Allocation Program. And we had received, after doing outreach to local communities, nonprofits, holding a meeting to help better understand some of the needs of the community, making sure everyone understood that these funds are limited in their use. They can't be used for anything. So low, moderate income communities, individuals, the elimination of slum and blight, or the last one is basically in case of emergency, break glass. That would be something that is normally not used for these because you don't anticipate a hurricane or earthquake. So you're really looking at low mod income benefit or the elimination of slum and blight. We've received applications from the city of Oberlin, requested $150,000 for a splash pad. Total construction cost would be about $314,000 for that, or if they added a restroom to that, it would be $514,000. Sheffield Lake is requested $250,000 to go towards sewer improvements and street paving on East Drive, and the total grant, or the total cost of that project, $738,000. It would assist 85 homes. Neighborhood Alliance has requested $50,000 for a courtyard playground installation to build off of previous investments by them, this county, and the city of Lorain for the shelter at Haven Center, and this would qualify under the limited clientele. Total project cost would be $160,000, so they would be leveraging those funds. North Ridgeville has been dedicated by the state of Ohio to receive $150,000. They are looking to put that towards water line replacements in the Orenson Knoll Bem neighborhood. Total estimated cost of phase one is $468,900. Would impact about 31 homes in that initial phase. And then we've got the Meals on Wheels operated by Neighborhood Alliance under the public service. This category is capped at 15%. You cannot go any higher, which would equate to about $97,200. And this is over 2 years. So they would spend that $97,000 over 2 years. And they are leveraging a total over that 2 years of about $1.4 million to go towards that. So overall, we are looking at the county gets paid to be able to handle these funds, so administration costs. It's for us the time and effort it takes to put it in. Also advertising the paper for the contracts that need to be procured, especially these construction contracts. Fair housing, which is a requirement. And some of those funds will be going towards procuring a contractor. And then the state allows us to enter into what they call 3 projects or 3 activities. The department has been recommending that we would go with the Meals on Wheels at 15% of the allocation. This has been a project where over the long-term Neighborhood Alliance has worked with our other nonprofits and really created a nice network. And this is funded, these are targeted towards the people that are living outside of Lorain and Elyria. So this is to reach out to Wellington, to those isolated in some of the townships where the neighbors may not be close, as well as Oberlin, North Ridgeville, Avon Lake. So throughout the balance of the county, and that's where these funds are put. And next up, Sheffield Lake Sewer Improvement Project for about $250,000. And this would be, they would go forward with this project regardless of what happens on another project I'll be talking about with them. The Neighborhood Alliance Courtyard Project at $50,000 actually fits in nice. It builds off of previous investments we have made, as well as the city of Lorain, and they continue to leverage funds. And then lastly would be the North Ridgeville water line project for $150,000 for phase 1. And then with that, there were 2 other grant applications I'd like to discuss. These are recommended that the county would submit on behalf of North Ridgeville for phases 2 and 3 of their water line project, where they'd be requesting $500,000 in the critical infrastructure grant, with a total project cost of $1.38 million. If they're awarded that, they would take phases 1, 2, and 3 of the water line project for that Baum Road neighborhood and get it all out at once. If not, then they will come back in future years to pursue funding to continue those other phases. And then lastly, Sheffield Lake is asking that we pursue an additional $250,000 so that they can continue to do sewer, water line, and paving redevelopment in that east and west drive area, which is close to the redevelopment they have going on at their shopping center. And regardless of whether or not they receive that grant, the other project would go forward. And then with that, I would open it up to either questions, comments from you or the public, and I'll do my best to answer them.
Well, you just read off a ton of money, okay?
Yes.
A lot of numbers. Do we have all, is that the money we're going to get? And
That
that's a
is based on the
breakdown?
money that we are anticipated to get. We're anticipating
What's
to
the
get
total?
$648,000.
You were dropping more than that. You were
Well,
saying a
I would
$500,000 for one,
include what
200 for
the
another.
CDBG was, as well as then what the local communities were proposing to bring in to leverage those funds.
Okay. I know you said
So-
648 is what we're getting in federal dollars, so.
So the $648,000 in federal, we would be looking at on the project. So Meals on Wheels, $97,200.
No, I remember this from before. I just didn't
Yeah.
know if they could get more money on the total project. Just
Hook
you up.
No, so
I know it's been a struggle for you guys because there's so much being asked for, and you had to make
Yes.
you had to recommend a decision or recommend a position where some of them aren't going to get all of what they want, and some aren't going to get any at all,
Yeah.
and that's very difficult with the funds drying up like they are.
it has been difficult for the staff, for the board, and for our communities. What has been presented to you is a way to maintain and continue to improve the services we provide our residents. And by the way things have been fashioned, maximize our ability to chase additional federal dollars. So you've got 2 projects in critical infrastructure, so that we can, if we're successful there, that's another $750,000 coming to the county to be able to assist Sheffield Lake and North Ridgeville.
Is that 750,000 additional federal dollars?
Federal dollars.
Okay, so for example, they give us the ability to take 15% of that? Or just this
Not for the
648?
set-aside grants, those critical infrastructure grants, it's kind of an all or nothing goes into that project.
On the second ask you're doing?
Correct.
Okay.
Although I like the way you think.
I know Alicia does. Okay, so basically now, once we're not really voting on anything except to close the hearing, and
Correct.
then it will come up as then we'll have to vote on the allocation in another meeting, correct?
Correct.
No, do you have a date picked for that?
We're doing the CDBG, I believe, on June 3rd, the resolution.
June 3rd?
Mhm.
Oh, wow, okay, so June 3rd will be a fun day. Okay. Do you have any other questions, Commissioner?
Well,
Because before
can
we
you
get-
explain a lot of the matching that's going on? Like especially I saw North Ridgeville has some match, and even Sheffield does. Matching funds on it.
So, North Ridgeville was bringing in, on the water line project, $320,000 from their water improvement fund, which I'm sure Jeff is pretty familiar with. I would imagine that's actually generated off of their utility bills from the residents to allow them to make capital improvements that way. And then, come on. Did they put? Okay. And then on the critical infrastructure, the city passed a resolution, and they kept it generic to the use of city funds as local match, and authorizing the mayor to accept funding if awarded.
Yeah, everybody's working hard on this. It just that's the purpose of me bringing it up. That
Yeah.
it's a struggle, but we're making it happen.
Yeah, as an example, Sheffield Lake pledged a local source from their sewer fund to $250,000, local fund from their 1/4% road tax of $137,000, and then their local fund capital improvement account of another $100,000 to put together their leverage and to bring this in. And so I will say when the board has the difficult decision of awarding or making decisions on these, I will say that our local communities have always stepped up and really brought a lot of additional leverage. That makes us look good, not only to the state, but to the feds. So it's been a pleasure to always work with our local communities that way.
Very nice work on it.
So basically, before we hear from any audience members, if you watched our last hearing, there was a debate between the three of us in regards to, I think, the 15%.
Yeah.
And that debate today means really, we're just gonna close it, and that debate will probably happen on June 3rd. Would you not say that will happen?
That is very likely to occur. The one thing I know Neighborhood Alliance is here, and Alicia can talk for her agency better than any. But the one thing that I did pick out in their application is that their cost per meal is substantially less than the national average. And they provide an incredible service, not only to our residents who can be homebound, performing essentially wellness checks, safety, providing safety services to our community, but they also provide an opportunity for a lot of people to have volunteer experience and to better interact with their community.
Okay.
And so in their program is one of very many throughout the county that gives much more than it actually takes. And
I think I agree. Was there any other questions? Because we can have the audience, anybody from the audience would like to speak in regards to our public hearing? Alicia? Yeah.
I always have something to say.
Yeah.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank
Good
you for
morning.
allowing me to have an opportunity to speak. I know that there were a lot of questions, which obviously we're not going to have a lot of debate today about it with Commissioner Rydell not here. I know he has questions about the Meals on Wheels program, and so I just wanted to make sure that I was available and at your disposal if there were things that you needed to know about that program or about our request for the courtyard at the Haven Center. Both of those projects, I believe, will add a lot of value to the community. Meals on Wheels has been a part of the community for a very long time. Neighborhood Alliance has been providing meals to the community since the 60s. And we are the only provider in the county of Meals on Wheels. So I know that was one of the questions, was this a competitive bid? Were there other people who are providing the service? And there are not. So I think that's one of the key elements to why this funding is so important. The funding that we've received through the CDBG at the county level, it impacts the communities of Amherst, Columbia Station, Grafton, Kipton, LaGrange, Oberlin, Wellington, and all of the townships that are surrounding those areas. So it is very much focused on the southern part of the county, where people are more isolated and have fewer visitors coming to check on them. Family members may have moved away, and so our drivers are sometimes the only person that they interact with throughout the week. And they do deliver a meal. They check on them, make sure they're doing okay. The meals are dietitian regulated, so they are getting proper nutrition this way. Over the course of the last few years, since 2020, we've had 947 residents who have received those meals, and that's just from the CDBG funding, and that totals 141,593,000 meals. So there's a lot of benefit to it, and I do believe that the support is critical to what we do because it is also used as part of our matching funds for Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging so that we can continue to get their funds, which help support more meals in our community. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer those for you.
And when you say community, do you guys operate in Erie County, Huron County, or just Lorain County?
No, we're just Lorain County. Yeah, just Lorain County. We focus on Lorain County so that we can make sure that we provide great services to the residents here. With the Meals on Wheels program, there's only one community in the entire county that we don't provide Meals on Wheels to, and that's North Ridgeville, and that is because they do their own meals. So they don't need our service. We've met with them. They have a contract with Western Reserve just like we do. And so they do their own for their residents, and they've chosen to do it that way. But every other part of the community for Lorain County, Neighborhood Alliance is the provider of Meals on Wheels.
A few years ago, I went to a facility they were doing Meals on Wheels, and there was a bunch of volunteers delivering the food. Is that still the case?
So not for our organization. The Office on Aging used to do Meals on Wheels as well in Lorain County, but a few years ago they decided to get out of that part of the business, and instead of duplicating services, we kind of have divided up the senior services throughout the county. We don't use volunteer drivers because we want our drivers to have a relationship with the people that they serve. We also use hot and cold climate controlled vehicles instead of just the warming packs and the cooling packs. To take the food out into the community because we are covering such a large territory. So our drivers are consistent. They have the same driver week after week. Those drivers get to know our residents and they learn their patterns and things like that. So they're able to indicate very quickly if there is a problem in the home, if someone isn't acting right, or they also build the rapport with the clients that they serve. So if there's ever a concern about, maybe my son took the keys to my car and he won't give me my car back, and now it's an Adult Protective Services referral, we're able to make those referrals because we have that trust and that rapport. We do use volunteers as what we call jumpers, so they can ride along with our drivers and get out and deliver the meal, which helps speed up the routes for us, makes it a little more efficient, and also gives the community members an opportunity to get out and see what we do and visit with the seniors as well.
It's a very, very, very important service for the community.
Thank you, I agree.
No, that was, as you already know, I've said it before, how, you heard what I said, it maybe you didn't, but how the new sheriff has been working the finances, and I knew it from day one listening to you guys when you asked originally 3 or 4 years ago, how on top of your finances you guys really are, and I was very impressed and told everybody, if you want to know how to ask for money, watch that meeting, because you guys did an excellent job.
Thank you.
I've always been a big supporter because I always felt the bigger need is delivering the food, not having people come and collect. And the fact that you guys are 100% Lorain County means a lot to me, and I do appreciate the work. I'm a huge supporter, and I like the partnerships you're doing with other departments. Like, I was out at the Office on Aging, and they're telling me how you guys are working with them, and I just, that's the kind of stuff that I do enjoy, is the partnerships. And I know with what's going on everywhere else, my daughter works for a nonprofit, everyone's saying the same thing. They're all worried about money right now.
Yeah.
And we got to make sure that you guys are properly funded, because you do provide a serious service, I believe, that's the most effective for feeding those that are in need, so.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming in and your staff. I do appreciate it, so thank
Yeah,
you all for
Neighborhood
coming
Alliance
in.
is doing great things in the
Yep.
community.
Yes, they
Thank
are.
you very much.
Yep.
We appreciate that.
Okay, well, might want to come back June 3rd.
I will be here.
Okay. Is there anyone else from the audience? I guess, Brian, come on up. Usually you're closer when you want to talk, so.
Normally, you're halfway up.
Brian Baker.
Brian Baker, 49822 Greystone Drive. I wasn't going to speak today, but for this Neighborhood Alliance, Dave, you know I help with off-site aging. I helped, actually this morning at 8:30 this morning, I picked up a load at Second Harvest, took it to the pantry in Elyria. This is going to be a necessity in this county. We're losing all of our funding from the federal level. We're losing all of our federal funding from the state level. These guys here, for the little bit amount of money they're asking, and I don't know what the controversy was, but if there's going to be discussion on June 3rd here, I'll be here to back these ladies up because they deserve to get it for in this county. Because our elderly people are going to get cut on Medicare, are going to get cut on Medicaid, and they're going to need this service in this county. One last thing I'd ask Don is, for the projects on the construction projects, if they're over $2,000, they fall under federal prevailing wage, correct, Don?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure they don't fall under the state level, because if the money came from the federal,
Feds,
it's only
all right.
$2,000. It doesn't have the higher threshold. So
Mhm.
with that, thank you for letting me come up. But
No.
I would say anything that they're looking for, they should get the money at Neighborhood Alliance. So thank
Yep.
you.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian. That's why if you heard me saying, they are very good. When their finance people come in and tell me how they're spending their money, they got every dollar accounted for, so appreciate it. Wow, we have a bipartisan support going on here. Let's do a kumbaya afterwards.
We're gonna have a tea party.
I think you just, oh, well. Okay, I guess I'll, if anyone else wish to speak? No, okay. No, did you want to speak or no? Oh, okay. You had that lean like you were ready to come on up. Oh, you want to get out of here and go to something to eat? Well, let's talk about someone else to keep him here longer. So, I can make a motion to close the hearing.
And I will second that.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, there is a resolution we're gonna review a little bit. So when we come back out, we probably will vote on it's more of an administrative issue. And we're just not gonna go over that right now, because it's just more of an administrative issue. So, we're gonna go into executive session. I make a motion to go into executive session to discuss, potential legal, potential settlements, potential lawsuits. I'm trying to cover all of it.
That's fine.
Okay.
Pending imminent
And,
litigation.
and, just to throw it in there, maybe some potential, personnel issues, just to cover our tracks. How's that? That's my motion.
I will second that.
Okay.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
And we're
Commissioners-
back. Oh, sorry,
Sorry.
Teresa, go ahead.
Commissioners have reconvened from executive session.
Okay, we, there was some other discussions in regards to some administrative actions that we may have to take, so if you don't mind, Teresa, we're gonna have you put that under the screen so that we can show the public the resolution we intend to, pass, so. This is page 1. This is part of the, and this represents everybody. I think it's gonna help out everybody in that county that's traveling. It's not just the county commissioner's office. It talks about reimbursable versus non-reimbursable expenses. So let's go back to the first page. Oh, you're on the,
I am
I
on the
flipped it.
first page,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
let's go to the second page. And this is the, this is all pretty much standard. It's always been. This is kind of what we passed back in '23. I believe we amended it from before. We capped it at $40, and then I think about 18 months ago or 2 years ago, we capped the reimbursable expenses on daily for food at $60. And when we were out at Vegas, the Lorain City Port Authority said that they follow a method consistent with the federal government, because depending on what part of the country you live in or have seminars in, those expenses and reimbursable expenses are actually different depending on, naturally it's more expensive to eat in Washington DC than Wellington, Ohio. So anyway.
We can thank Tiffany for that.
Yeah, we can thank Tiffany at the Lorain City Port Authority for doing that. So all we're doing is, this is more of an administrative move. We're going to change the policy to adopt the federal GSA rules, which depending on where your travel is, has different levels of reimbursable expenses.
They have a website you can use too, which is pretty nice.
Mm-hmm. So how do you want it, would you like to read how do you want to pass the resolution? I'll let you.
Adopting the Lorain County Board of Commissioners travel and expense reimbursement policy effective retroactive to May 1st, 2025.
I move to approve.
And I will second that.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Okay, if you notice what you printed up had 24 in there, so I just changed that, so. But you did make it, if you take a look at the resolution, you had 24. So this goes back to May 1st, 2025. That's what, because the one I have says 24,
I'm
that's
sorry.
why.
Yeah,
So,
25.
okay, seeing that was it, any other questions? Any other business?
Nothing here.
Seeing none, then we are adjourned. Thank you.